The Miami Dolphins fan base is restless, and you can feel the tension pulsing through every headline, every talk show, and every frustrated tweet. After a dreadful start to the season, their patience with Tua Tagovailoa is wearing thin. The same quarterback who was once touted as the franchise's future is now fumbling under the spotlight, quite literally, and the calls for change have grown deafening. But this isn't just about frustration with Tua. The storm brewing in Miami has a name, and it's Shador Sanders. Fans are already chanting for him, already envisioning him in aqua and orange, already dreaming of a new era. The question now is whether Miami should make the boldest move of the year, trading for the Browns' rising star before another team swoops in. The trade rumors are more than whispers. They're roaring. Reports have linked Sanders to multiple franchises, but the Dolphins are suddenly at the center of the noise. And it makes sense. Tagovailoa's struggles in high-pressure moments have reignited long-standing doubts about whether he has the poise, durability, and leadership to carry Miami to the promised land. When the Dolphins opened their season with a shaky loss, capped by Tua's costly turnovers, it didn't take long for frustrated fans to begin pointing at the young phenom in Cleveland as the answer. Shador Sanders represents everything Tua currently does not: fresh promise, explosive energy, and the kind of marketable star power that could electrify a fan base desperate for hope. Of course, the situation is complicated. The Browns don't want to let go of Sanders. Kevin Stefanski has tried to swat down the rumors, insisting the team is committed to their young quarterback, but even his words have left room for doubt. In press conferences, Stefanski has admitted that tough decisions are inevitable, hinting at the reality every NFL team faces. You can't keep everyone. That small admission, paired with the Browns' ongoing inconsistency, has only fueled speculation. The Browns might not be shopping Sanders, but if the right deal comes along, they'll have to listen. And the Dolphins? They're listening loud and clear. The heart of this debate is simple. Do the Dolphins trust Tua to get them where they need to go? Or is it time to cut their losses and chase a brighter future with Sanders? For years, the franchise has built around Tagovailoa, investing in weapons like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to maximize his skill set. And yet, when it matters most, he hasn't been able to push Miami over the hump. Yes, he has had flashes of brilliance, but the NFL is a league of moments, and too often his moments have ended in heartbreak. The playoffs remain elusive, and the Dolphins are tired of being almost there. That's why Sanders' name is so intoxicating right now. Shador Sanders, with his swagger, talent, and already massive fan base, represents more than just a quarterback. He represents a shift in energy. In Cleveland, his presence has overshadowed almost everything else the franchise has done. Ownership, led by Jimmy Haslam, sees him as the face of the future. According to Colin Cowherd, Haslam is directly involved, pushing for Sanders to get on the field sooner rather than later. Rumors suggest that by November, if Cleveland continues to spiral, Sanders could be thrust into the starting role. And if that happens, if he dazzles under the lights, his value will only skyrocket, which is exactly why Miami might need to act now. The Dolphins don't just want Sanders. They need him before he becomes untouchable. Imagine him stepping into Miami's offense, surrounded by speed and supported by a defense that can keep games close. Imagine him launching bombs to Hill, orchestrating drives that ignite Hard Rock Stadium into chaos. For Dolphins fans, it isn't just fantasy, it's the future they're demanding. But there's another side of the coin. Trading for Sanders now would be costly. The Browns, aware of his market value, won't let him go cheap. Draft picks, players, and perhaps even Tua himself would have to be packaged in a blockbuster deal. For the Browns, that's the only way it makes sense. Losing Sanders would cripple their long-term plans, but if Miami offers a king's ransom, they might be forced to consider it. Still, ownership in Cleveland, especially Haslam, is digging in. They want Sanders to play. They want him to be the cornerstone. And that makes this tug-of-war even more intense. Inside the Dolphins organization, the debate is fierce. Some believe Tua still has time to prove himself. Others argue that waiting is a luxury they can't afford. The AFC is stacked, and standing still means falling behind. Every game counts, every missed opportunity matters, and every mistake by Tagovailoa is magnified by the looming shadow of Sanders. Miami knows it has a roster capable of contending. What it doesn't know is whether its quarterback can get them there. For Sanders, a move to Miami could be career-defining. In Cleveland, he's surrounded by uncertainty, held back by a franchise that has struggled to find its identity for decades. Yes, he's being groomed as the future, but the timeline is unclear. In Miami, the future could be now. He'd walk into a team already built to win, already stacked with weapons, already hungry for glory. It would be the perfect stage to accelerate his development and prove he belongs among the league's elite. And let's not overlook the cultural factor. Shador Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a personality, a brand, a magnet for attention. His swagger, his confidence, his fan base, they travel with him. Miami, a city that thrives on flash and flair, feels like the perfect fit. A Dolphins team led by Sanders would instantly become one of the league's most talked about franchises. Ticket sales, merchandise, national coverage, it would all explode. That's the kind of ripple effect that ownership and executives can't ignore. But would Cleveland really let him go? That's the burning question. On one hand, insiders argue it's madness. Sanders is their future, the piece they've been searching for in a revolving door of quarterbacks. On the other hand, the Browns are facing pressure. The longer they stall his debut, the louder the calls for him to start will become. If the team keeps losing, the situation could turn toxic, and sometimes franchises trade players not because they want to, but because they have to. For now, the Dolphins can only weigh the risks and rewards. Trading for Sanders would be bold, expensive, and controversial. But it would also signal to the league that Miami is done waiting, done settling into a plan that isn't working. It would be a gamble, yes, but sometimes gambles are the only way to win, and if they don't act, someone else will. The future of two franchises hangs in the balance. The Browns, desperate to hold on to the quarterback who could save them, and the Dolphins, desperate to escape the cycle of mediocrity. Shador Sanders is at the center of it all, a young star whose next move could reshape the league. Will Miami pull the trigger? Will Cleveland hold the line? Or will another team swoop in and steal the prize? One thing is certain, the whispers of a trade have become too loud to ignore. For Dolphins fans, the dream of seeing Sanders in aqua and orange is alive and growing stronger every day. For Browns fans, the fear of losing him is becoming all too real. And for the rest of the league, the question is simple. What happens next? Do you believe the Dolphins should risk it all for Shador Sanders? Or should Cleveland stay firm and protect their future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest updates in this unfolding drama.